welcome to this first very brief review of the Alpine A110. I'm going to be doing some proper car reviews going forward. This is just a short video. Just if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. We'll see how we do going forward. Lots of cars to review, lots of interesting stuff to look at. Let's have a look at this one. So here it is, the Alpine A110, Alpine if you're into French. This is the GT spec. This is the middle spec of the three. The S version is the sportier version. It's far harder sprung. A little trickle over there. This is the mid-range of the two. You have the base spec, 252 horsepower, rear-wheel drive with the softer suspension setup. The GT here has the softer suspension setup, but it has the advantage of the 296. Goodness, it makes no difference. 300 brake horsepower engine. Of me, a great example of a car that looks better in person than it does in posters. On videos like this, it doesn't really kind of do it justice. Some neat little touches here, like these little sort of sunken inlets in the rear. Because the original 1970s car was a rear engine car, those were actually the air intakes. In this one, I say mid-engine, so there you go. You have another sort of cooling bits area there for the fans. You can remove the cover here to see the engine. All the versions now have the spec on the rear, in this case the A110 GT, prior to 2022, just the Alpine on the back there. This particular one coming with the Serac alloys in the classic Alpine blue. Mid-engine of course, and engine covered however by this engine cover with the Alpine logo on it. Two boots in this car. This is the rear boot. Definitely not the biggest, handy enough for a few small objects. You do have recesses both to the left and the right, big enough for a couple of racing helmets, or as somebody discovered, some wine. As well, a front boot, or a fruit, if you want to call it that. Certainly not the deepest, but good enough for a couple of soft cases for a weekend away. Can only be this shallow due to the petrol tank being located underneath here. Some neat little touches like the Alpine logo in the brake caliper there. The parking brake integrated in the main caliper saves a couple of kilos, such as Alpine's obsessive want to reduce weight. Little Alpine stickers on the side as well, logos even. Not the easiest to make out in these videos. The rear of this car is actually, the underside even, is completely flat. This is not just for show, this is an active diffuser. Allows the aerodynamics. Let's see if we can have a look underneath. The bottom of the car, completely flat. Can't miss this. Very purposeful centre exhaust. Lots of interesting pops and cracks from the exhaust, which we'll have a look at when we get out on the road. So here we are in the centre cabin of the Alpine A110. Generally a nice place to be. Steering wheel is a decent size. We've got the Alpine logo in the middle here. It's a baking hot summer's day, so I'm going to start the engine. Makes quite a satisfying engine noise when you get started. Powered of course by a 1.8 litre petrol engine, rear wheel drive, 300 brake horsepower in this particular model. More than sufficient given that the car weighs around 1100 kilos. Any more than that is not really needed. Cars these days, they tend to be heavier and overpowered. Frankly, this one is a perfect mixture of lightweight and power. The interior of the car is generally a tremendous place to be. Don't expect too many kind of Renault bits in here. Got the floating centre console, leather seats. Love this little bit of door trim that they have inside here. It shows you the outer colour. Right down to the Alpine branded floor mats there. It's generally a nice place to be. Everything you could possibly need, with the possible exception of a glove box. So inside the Alpine A110, this particular version has the blue Alpine logo, which is a nice touch. A digital centre binnacle there. Three versions, three modes in here. This is the standard mode here. Classic French dials. You can see the little tricolor there for your park, reverse and drive. Pressing the button on the steering wheel gives us the sport mode. A little change in engine note there as well. A little change in the dials as well. This particular vehicle also has track mode. A long press on the sport button and there is your sport mode. That's these little things coming in from the left and the right there. And pressing the button again takes you back into your other modes. All the cars come with a fairly standard infotainment system, has everything you need, has its inbuilt sat-nav, Bluetooth, all the usual kind of stuff. The display is beginning to show its age. The 2022 models on the way, however, do come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Coming down here, you've got these really satisfying buttons. They are plastic, but they are really good. They do make quite a satisfying click when you use them. Single zone climate control. However, what else do you need? It is only a small two-seater car after all. We have this handy little slot here for putting your key in, key being one of the sort of flat Renault style fobs. I use it personally for a mobile phone. You have your dials here to drive, neutral, reverse. Putting the vehicle in drive will engage the vehicle's automatic mode. The vehicle powered by a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. Nothing else really needed. A few folk have decried the need for a manual. I'm not a purist in that sense. I think the gearbox in this car is telepathically good. Another neat little quirk which you probably can't make out in this light is that when you press the button, there we go, to put it into manual mode, it does light up blue. So you have your blue, white and red. Another French tricolor. They do like a tricolor. Your window buttons down here, and quite a satisfying stop start button. Absolutely huge stop start button. You can't miss that one. Electronic parking brake. A couple of strange decisions here. You've got your cruise control and speed limiter down here. The actual buttons to control it, however, are up here on the steering wheel. And there is your little sport button, your little smarty cracking thing that as well. The media control in this car is the standard Renault one, just behind the steering wheel, just behind the flappy paddles there as well. A few folk have decried this as being a bit of a Renault part from a 2005 Clio. I think the theme theory for Alpine, if it works, keep it. Great use of premium materials in this car as well. A really nice steering wheel here. Some of the S versions do have an Alcantara finish on the top as well. This is the standard finish here. Some carbon fibre of sorts here, some good carbon fibre. I particularly like the colour-coded stitching in the leather on this, the floating console that you have in the centre there as well. One of the little sort of weight-saving features there, if you can make it out in the Focal audio system, you can actually see the speaker. It's made of a sort of bamboo-like substance, really good, and again down to just the obsessing saving of weight. Leather on the door here as well, really nice. All the parts that you're going to put your hand on they finish really well. There's some harder plastics in here, but let's be honest, they don't make much of a difference to the finish of the vehicle. You have all of the bits that you're going to be touching are quite tactile. You even have the little Alpine A logos there on the air vents. That's a nice touch. Little look at the reversing camera in the car. That's pretty good as well. A few other nice touches like the model variant written into the door. I'd say this particular one is the GT spec. Lots of exposed aluminium. Obviously the vehicle having an aluminium shell. Aluminum to my American cousins. Being mid-engined, of course. The air intakes are located just here behind the windows. There's a nice touch as well. There we go. Fair to say this is a car that is definitely Marmite in terms of its looks, with the front. A nod back to the classic 1970s rally car of the same name. You can see the dual headlight setup here. Looks really good, a really noticeable thing in your rear view mirror. Quick side profile of the car here. Alpine logo on the fuel cap there. Back. Tiny little reverse lights. The vehicle is just in reverse there. You can't hear the engine. Impressive sound.